All right, for our last example here, we want to look at this BB45 again. So we've already figured out the velocity of the BB45, but usually, when we're putting something in our logbook or something like that, we'll put in the speed and the course, right? We wouldn't put in the vector components of the velocity. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out the speed, which is the magnitude of the velocity, and the course. We'll figure both of those out. Although for the course, we'll do it with respect to the x-axis because this is a physics class, rather than doing it from true north. So we'll stick with the mathematical conventions here and try not to confuse you too much. So speed, how are we going to find the speed of the BB45? Well, the speed is the magnitude of the velocity. Okay, so that's going to be the square root of the sum of the squares of the components of the velocity. So that's 1.8 knots squared plus minus 9.9 knots squared. When we do that, 1.8 squared is 3.24. So we've got knots squared, square knots, I guess. Plus, is there a square knot? I don't know. 9.9 squared is 98.01 square knots. One of you probably knows a lot about knots. I don't know anything about knots. All right. Let's see. 3 plus 98 is 101. 24 plus 1 is 25. So we have 1.01 square knots. The square root of 101.25 is, let's give it 10.0, possibly a 6. So we've got 10.06 knots. Okay, so there we go. That is your speed. A perfectly reasonable speed, I hope. Now we need to figure out the course. What is the course? What is the direction that it's going? Okay, and how we find that is with the arctangent of y over x, or vy over vx in this case. So we have the arctangent of minus 9.9 knots over 1.8 knots. Knots cancel. So no, we just divide 9.9 by 1.8. So that's minus 5.5. And that is, when you put it into your calculator, minus 79.7 degrees. So almost 170 degrees if you were thinking about it from true north. So that's it. That's all you do to find the angle. Just plug it into the arctangent and you are done. All right. So that is basically it for vectors. That's all we really need to know about vectors. Next time I will talk about vector kinematics and trying to put all these things together so we have to worry about instantaneous velocities instead of average velocities and things like that. See you then. Bye now.